Good day everyone. In this video, we are going to present the summary, some of the advantages and disadvantages from the video that we've watched that was all about the theory of justice by John Rawls. John Rawls' theory of justice attempts to explain why clear social inequalities are unjust and what a just society really is. It begins by introducing the fundamental principle that every individual is inviolable. From that fundamental principle, there draw the following implications, which are: first, life should not be sacrificed for the sake of the majority. Second, an unjust law is better than no law at all. And lastly, individual liberties should be restricted in order to maintain equality of opportunity. Rawls' theory is deontological, and he asserts that we can construct principles to ensure fairness. He believes that we would construct two principles from the original position: the principle of equal liberty and the difference principle. The principle of equal liberty states that all the citizens have an equal right to basic liberties, which, according to Rawls, entails freedom of conscience, expression, association, and democratic rights. In the difference principle, social and economic positions are to be everyone's advantage and open to all.
But how can such a principle be universally adopted? Or how can we actualize Rawls' theory of justice? Is it here where the Rawls' notions of bail, ignorance, and the original positions come in? So, John Rawls introduced the theoretical veil ignorance, a method used to determine the fairness and impartiality of the principles of justice that govern a society, in which all players in the social game will be placed in a hypothetical situations called the original positions. John Rawls suggests that in the original position, each individual does not know her sex, race, natural abilities, social status, economic conditions, and hypothetical scenarios are made without bias, as no one knows whether they will end up in privileged or disadvantaged position. So, according to Rawls, out of this veil of ignorance, everybody makes a rational prudential choice concerning the kind of social institutions they would enter into contact with. So, John Rawls recommends that individuals in the veil of ignorance ought to adopt a generalized point of view that bears strong resemblance to moral point of view. So, John Rawls' theory that behind the veil of ignorance, people will choose principles that are fair and just for everyone, as they could potentially find themselves in any position within society. This led to the selections of rules that protect the most disadvantaged members of society and ensure equality of opportunity, reflecting a more equitable social contract. So, according to John Rawls, everybody in the original positions promotes equality, then justice as fairness is attained. So if inequality is upheld, then injustice prevails. So a theory, John Rawls suggests that a just society is one where the principle of justice are selected, impartiality, and focus on promoting fairness and equality for everyone, with special considerations for the most disadvantaged. So justice is achieved when this principle ensure fair treatment and equal opportunity for all. So conversely, if the principle result in significant and justified equality, the society is deemed unjust. So, the John Rawls believes that through the veil of ignorance, individuals can identify universal beliefs about how society should be organized. So, in John Rawls' theory of justice, that a justice as fairness is seen to establish balanced approach to distributive justice, ensuring that fundamental rights are protected while promoting equality and addressing social and economic disparities.
In John Rawls' theory of justice, the concept of advantages plays a crucial role in ensuring a just, equitable society. These advantages are resources, opportunities, and benefits that individuals possess which can affect their life prospects. So the fourth one is maximizing the welfare of the less advantaged. So this ensures that the benefits of social cooperation extend to everyone, particularly to those who are most vulnerable. And the fifth one is promoting fair equality of opportunity, such as the education, healthcare, and access to resources play a critical role in ensuring that everyone has a fair chance to succeed. And the last one is encouraging social cooperation. It means individuals are more likely to view social cooperation as beneficial and fair.
Good evening, each and everyone. I am April Rose M. Sablina and I'm going to discuss the disadvantages of Rawl's theory of justice. John Rawl's theory of justice, particularly as articulated in his seminal work, A Theory of Justice, has been influential in political philosophy and ethics. However, several criticisms and disadvantages have been raised against it. First, abstractness and idealization. Rawl's theory is often criticized for being too abstract and idealized. It assumes a hypothetical original position and a veil of ignorance, which are not reflective of real-world conditions. Next, the second is overemphasis on distribution. Critics, particularly from the libertarian perspective, argued that Rawls places too much emphasis on the distribution of goods and not enough on the processes by which goods are produced and exchanged. Third, lack of consideration for individuals' differences. Rawls' principle of justice aimed to create a fair distribution of primary goods without sufficiently accounting for individual differences in needs, preferences, and capabilities. Fourth, issues with the difference principle. The difference principle, which permits social and economic inequalities only if they benefit the least advantaged members of society, is seen as problematic by some critics. Fifth is the feasibility and practical implementation. Implementing Rawl's principles in real-world policy making is considered highly challenging. The complexities of political, economic, and social systems. 6. Neglect of community and relationships. Communitarian critics argue that Rawl's focus on individual rights and justice neglects the importance of community and relationships. 7th, potential for stagnation. Some argue that Rawl's principles could lead to economic and social stagnation. By prioritizing the welfare of the least advantaged, there may be less incentive for innovation and economic growth which could ultimately harm everyone, including the least advantaged. 8th, ethnocentrism. Rawl's theory has been criticized for being rooted in a Western liberal democratic framework, potentially overlooking the values and justice concepts of non-Western societies. Lastly, the justice as fairness versus other conceptions of justice. Rawl's conception of justice as fairness is just one among many other theories, such as utilitarianism, prioritize different aspects of justice like overall happiness or welfare. These criticisms highlight the ongoing debate and dialogue about the nature of justice and the best way to achieve a just society.
In his fundamental work, A Theory of Justice, John Rawls describes a just society based on the values of fairness, equality, and liberty. Rawls emphasizes the necessity of justice and fairness as a foundation for organizing society. He condensed that a just society is one in which everyone has equal rights and opportunities and social and economic imbalances are structured to assist the most disadvantaged people. Rawls' theory attempts to reconcile the conflict between individual liberty and social equality by creating a framework in which all people's rights are acknowledged and protected. In addition to that, Rawls highlights the significance of the veil of ignorance in his theory, proposing that principles of justice ought to be decided upon from behind a theoretical curtain that conceals each person's unique circumstances and traits.
This method guarantees that justice tenets are defined objectively without favoring any group or people, or person rather. Rawl's theory then of justice offers a convincing foundation for imagining a just and fair society. Rawls provides a guide for establishing a society in which the rights and interests of every person are recognized and protected by placing a high priority on the concepts of justice, equality, and liberty.